Welcome back, guys. I'm Zell, and today I'm drinking a little Diet Mountain Dew colored with some Four Roses. And you've got 9 seconds when the intro starts to get your drink of choice, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, today, guys, we have 10 questions for the knife guy or girl. And we're just going to jump right into it. This is kind of, you know, those things that get passed around on the, across YouTube about fun 5 for 5 and all these other answer this or answer that. Well, this is kind of what this is. If you have a YouTube channel, it'd be awesome if you picked this up and answered it yourself. I'm not going to tag anybody. Just answer the questions, put up your video, you know, put a tag back to me or something if you decide to do it, but not necessary. If you're only going to view this, comments. Put your answers down in the comments. That's what these Drinking and Thinking videos are for. And here we go. Number 1, where do you carry your knife? Are you a front right or left pocket person? Are you an in the purse person, a boot person, I wear carpenter jeans so it's in a leg pocket, or I wear cargo pants, it's in a leg pocket, or are you a back pocket person? You know, answer below. For me, I am a front right pocket with a 3.5 or 4 inch blade and a leg pocket generally, sometimes an upper left pocket, depends on what else I'm carrying for the day, but generally I have a smaller blade on the left hand side of my body. And that's how I carry my knives. Number 2, do you sharpen your own knives? And do you sharpen a new knife? I sharpen just about everything that comes through here. 1, to make it look good for the camera. 2, because I want that new knife, if I'm going to use it, I want those bevels set. I want that micro bevel set. I want to know that I can go out and use that knife and I am ready to quickly and easily correct the edge if I burr it up or knock a little off or it rolls over on me or whatever. And if I leave the factory edge on there, I don't have that assurances from my sharpening job. You know, it's just a thing with me. And what I want to know is, are you cool with the sharpness of a new knife? You know, like this Boker Patriot here, it came very, very sharp. Now, am I going to sharpen it up again? Most likely, even though it's not needed. This thing is plenty sharp, but I want it to look good. I want it to be prepared for those easy touch-ups. Number 3, do you buy on aesthetics or function? Answer below. Me, I buy on function of the knife first. Now, if there's several knives that function the same way and something looks better than the other ones, I may gravitate towards the one that looks better. But you know, okay, like this here, Paramilitary 2. I could have bought a Paramilitary 2 with the Digicam and the satin blade any day of the week whenever I was looking for one. But I didn't want just anyone. I wanted the black handles, black blade, because it looked better to me. So yes, I waited until I found the one I wanted. Still bought function first, but I waited to get the aesthetics. How do you go about things? Answer below. What is your preferred blade shape? You know, Warncliffe, drop point, Spidey point, leaf shape, sheep's foot. And there's all sorts of different other ones. What's your favorite? For me, I really like Warncliffe and sheep's foot. However, I don't have a lot of Warncliffe and sheep's foot because in the knives I like, they generally tend to be drop points. And, you know, I suppose that's okay, but I would like to see more Warncliffe and sheep's foot blades out there. In fact, I don't even think I have any on the table right now. I think they're all drop points. Yep, every dang one. Well, no, there we go. That is a sheep's foot. And that's actually the ZT0777 or 0770 has a wonderful sheep's foot blade. Anyhow, what is your favorite blade shape? Number 5, what's your preferred handle material? Now, I'm pretty easy on this one. Once we get above standard nylon like you get on some of the cheap Kershaws and some of the, and on the base model Ontario Rats, I'm pretty much open. You know, my Carta G10, aluminum, titanium. The only thing I'm not a big fan of is Damascus. So I'm, like I said, pretty much open. Doesn't matter to me. Some may look better or worse on other knives. Some may have different coatings and whatnot. But at that point, it's kind of function first, then what's it look like, and I'm not too worried about the handle material itself. All right, we're going to take a quick intermission, and during this intermission, I want to talk about this Pro Light. The reason I want to talk about it is because it was an unsolicited gift from Stuart Harvey. And some of you know, some of you don't, but I have my mailing address and my email in the description of almost every video. Occasionally I forget. I try to go back and fix that when I do, but you know, being a one-man band here, sometimes I do forget things. I'm not soliciting you. Do not just think you need to send anything in, because you obviously don't. I'm not asking you to, but I am going to tell you that the email address is down there, and that's the place you need to start. If you would like to send something in for me to look at, for me to review, that's fine. We can work out a loaner deal where you send the knife in for a week or two, depending on what my backlog is. Might be up to a little more than that. And I look at the knife, we do the videos on it, and I send it back to you. One bonus as an individual you may get while it's here is if the knife needs sharpening and I feel comfortable sharpening that knife, you'll get a sharp knife back if you so choose. That's basically kind of how I would do a loaner thing. I know a lot of channels are doing that, and I'm willing to do the same thing. But if you want to do a loaner, you need to email me first. That way we can see if I even need to look at the knife or whatever other piece of gear it is, because there may be some stuff that I don't want to. Probably not much, but anyhow, email me if you want to do something like that. Now, sending something to my private mailbox. You can do that anytime you want, I suppose, but please, please package it nicely so that you don't freak out my mail guy. I like my mail guy. You guys should like my mail guy, because he's what facilitates a lot of this happening, because it all works through the postal system, UPS and FedEx. So he takes care of me, and I'd like to keep taking care of him. So anyhow, package it well so that we don't freak him out. And I'm not asking for anything, but if you are so inclined, I'm not going to tell you no either, unless you're trying to send me a bomb or something. Please don't do that. Anyhow, one last thing, if you are a company and you would like to send things in, that's fine. I would prefer that you email me first there as well, because if we're going to do stuff like that, we need to talk about it before I put things on camera. And also for individuals or companies, be aware they're going to get honest reviews. You send something in here, I'm not going to stand there stuttering trying to think of something good to say about something. If I don't like it, I'm going to say that. If it has bad or ugly, I'm going to say that. If it has great and good, I'm going to say those things too. But just because somebody sends in a loaner or some company sends something over here for me to look at does not in any way ensure some spectacular review. Number 6. Does paying more for blade steel make sense to you? Once we get above our kind of base decent blade steels, you know, the ACR 13, the AUS 8, 420HC from Buck, and so on, is it worth it to spend a little extra, you know, whether it be 10, 20, 30 bucks, to get the next step up in blade steel? You know, something like, say, what Spyderco does with a lot of their FRN knives. Is it worth the extra 30 bucks to get ZDP 189 over VG10? What's your opinion? You guys know that in some of those cases, I will spend the extra money. Now, not all of them, but in some cases, I definitely will. Do you? Let me know down in the comments. Deep carry pocket clips. What's your preference? You know, I'm kind of on both sides of the fence here. I don't like a knife like, say, this CQC 4K XL, where you've got an inch or better of knife sticking up. I don't like that. Something like the Delica, where you're down to a ½ inch and a very light knife doesn't get in the way, doesn't bump into things. I'm okay with that not being a terribly deep carry pocket clip. But I also really appreciate the deep carry pocket clip on this Buck Marksman. Makes it just disappear in a pocket. And some of you I know have concealment issues wherever you live. And anyhow, what's your preference? Do you like the deep carry pocket clips? Do you not like them? Why? Anyhow, answer it down in the comments. And number 8, do not speak to your wife before you answer this question. Do not ask her this question, because you're just not going to be happy if you do. Blade length. What is your preference? For me, in my front right pocket, I like to have somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4-inch blade, somewhere in those gray, kind of a gray area around that. Somewhere 3.5 inch to 4, 4.1, 4.2. You know, I don't want a pocket sword, but about a 4-inch blade is probably about right. I really enjoy this Browse VR71 at 3.9 inches. I've got a Wii 617A over there. It's 3.875 or something like that, and those are just about perfect. For my left side, for the left side of my body, I want somewhere around a 3-inch blade. I want something that is thin, light, sticks in a side pocket, and it's just out of the way. You know, Spyderco Mantra is good for that. A Urban Trapper is good for that, except for the fact you can't reverse the clip on that one. But anyhow, those are my preferences. About a 3-inch on the left side, about 3.5 to 4 or so on the right side. And moving along, how about weight? How important is that to you? You know, I at one time really watched the weight on knives. And over the past several months, it's still an important factor. I mean, if you've got a boat anchor, it's not great. You know, we got this Mr. Blade. This is a an example of a boat anchor. It's 8.5 or 9 ounces, but as you'll see whenever we do the review, I think there's some purpose for that. And you know, for a couple ounces lighter, I think this is 5.5 or 6. This Browse VR71. I don't notice it between that and the 4-ounce or so Buck Marksman. And I really like that VR71. Really like to carry it. So weight is, on the right-hand side of my body, is less of a factor. Now on the left-hand side of my body, I do want something thin, light, and easy to carry. The Mantra fits that bill really well because you can swap the clip around for left-hand carry and slide that blade up against the back of your pocket. And there are others out there. But anyhow, we'll move along to the next question. Let me know about blade weight, or knife weight, down there. Number 10, price. And not just price, but what is the price range that a good knife should come in? And basically what I'm asking is, whenever you get to X number of dollars, the knife shouldn't be junk anymore. And you shouldn't have to spend X number of dollars to get a good knife. So for me, with the coming of Ganso and Sanrenmu and some of these other smaller companies that are doing marvelous machining and giving us really good knives at that $20 or so price point, sometimes a little less, I'm going to say that if you're selling a knife for 20 bucks, the machining better be good. The steel better be decent. You know, no AUS 6, no 5CR13. We need some decent budget steel. And I shouldn't have to go over $100 to get a damn good knife. And for the most part, you don't have to. I think on that end of things, they do pretty well. But at the low end of things, it's kind of a mess. So anyhow, and I know that's a wide range, but I really think by the time you get to 20 bucks, things should be pretty dadgum good. Machining should be done well. Things should line up well. Fasteners should be of a decent quality. By the time we get to 100 bucks or somewhere thereabouts, we should be looking at very good steel, very good materials, and pretty much perfect fit and finish. So anyhow, we'll move on along. We've got 2 bonus questions. Neither one of these do you have to answer. I guess you don't have to answer any of them if you don't want to, but these are completely optional. Bonus question number 1, do you hold any allegiance to a specific brand? You know, I really don't. I have brands I like. I've got a couple of Browse blades, and I've got to really appreciate what Jason Browse is doing. But I also, even though I'm not a big fan of Buck, I really appreciate the Buck Marksman. And you guys see a lot of Spyderco. I appreciate what Spyderco does, but I also am a little upset with them at times. So I don't think I'm really a fanboy of any of them, because you know they've all got their good and their bad. But there are some of you out there I know that are super fanboys of Cold Steel, or girls, and super fans of Spyderco, super fans of ZT or Chris Reeve or whatever, you know, Mick Strider or Hinderer. And I know you guys are out there, but you know, if you feel like it, let me know if you have some hardcore allegiance to one of those brands. And bonus question number 2. Does country of origin for the blade matter to you? And I'm going to leave that one open. We're going to talk more about that in the near future. And in fact, I've already got a video recorded talking a little about that. But what is your opinion? Does it matter where that blade come from? Anyhow, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me for a few minutes. I know this one's been a little bit different, but I was thinking about things, and I come up with all those questions and decided to put them all together as a 10 questions thing. Anyhow, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me for a few minutes. Leave your answers to the questions below. If you have a channel, you might do a video. That would be really cool to see any video responses to this. And it would be good for all of our viewers, no matter what channel you are, to kind of have a little more insight on us as we get some insight on our viewers. That's just a beautiful thing for us all to know each other a little better. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And this one is probably going to be ready in a few days, and we'll start the giveaway on it. And you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.